Hi there, I'm Creator Carl, and in this video we are making Thor's Love and Thunder helmet.
And here is the model in Mesh Mixer. This is the DO 3D model, or the Do 3D, and it comes in 4 different parts. So you've got your left and right wing, the main part of the helmet, and the helmet topper, the little eagle mohawk thing. And then what they've done is behind the helmet there, you've got these slots for neodymium magnets. I believe they're the 10 by 2mm ones, and it's the same on the back of the wings there. And they slot in with a bit of hot glue or super glue, and they fit in quite nicely. What I did to speed up the printing process, and you can try this if you'd like, is I took the helmet and the topper and just combined that into one part. How you do that is if you just hold control and then click the parts you want. So we want the main helmet and mohawk, and this menu here will pop up on the left hand side, and what you want to press is combine, and then we just let Meshmix process that, and there we go. That now should be one solid part. So if we go to move that, that is now one part. You can do it with the wings if you want, if you have a big enough printer. I didn't. I just printed the main helmet with the topper, and then I printed the wings separately. So let's stick that in Cura. So in Cura, I put down the right wing. I'm printing this on a Creality Ender 5 Pro with a 6mm nozzle, 0.3 layer height, and then I've got a 60-degree bed with 210-degree nozzle. And I found that one of the easiest ways to print it is pretty much how Cura puts it on the bed for you. What I will do is just put support blockers on the neodymium slots. They don't print supports for that. And how you do that is on the side here. If you've got your model selected, you'll see an option here, support blocker. Point and click where you want to drop it, and what that will do is put another object on the print bed essentially, and it's something that you can manipulate. So if you wanted to say change the scale of it, you can do. If you wanted to change the rotation of it, you can. And essentially you're just sizing it to block whatever support you want to block. So when we slice it with that there, it will block out that part of support for the neodymium. So if we go ahead and just put blocker on each part, like so, I now know that it won't print supports for these neodymium slots. Something to keep in mind when you're dropping these is to make sure that it isn't highlighted over a part of support that you need. In which case it isn't, but it's just something to keep an eye out for. So let's slice this. It's giving us a print time of 10 hours, 33 minutes with 148 grams of filament. Take a look at the preview. This is what it'll look like while it's printing. And you'll notice with these support blockers, it's stopped the supports coming into the neodymium slots there. And here is the helmet and the topper, both combined together on a Creality CR10 V2, and the same settings as the wings, so 0.6 nozzle, 0.3 layer height, 60-degree bed, and 210 nozzle. I had a bit of trouble positioning this thing just to try and keep as much detail in it as I could, and how I ended up having it was roughly about this angle. And when I print things, I like to make sure that the front of the print is always facing me on the bed. So we had it about here. There we go. And if you notice, just inside Doesn't need any support to print the nose or the bridge. No supports inside at all. The only bit of detail we'll lose is the supports on the bottom of the helmet here at the back, which is why I wanted them. It's a part of the helmet that isn't going to get a lot of attention to. So let's slice this, and it's giving us a print time of 1 day, 11 hours 4 minutes, with just under half a spool of filament. So if we take a look at the preview, you'll see where all the supports are. It will need quite a bit of sanding down and priming just to get rid of the detail lost through those supports and the raft, but it's doable.
Okay, so here are the parts 3D printed. The helmet, I decided to put the mohawk attached to the helmet. I did that in Mesh Mixer. Just combine the parts together to make one whole. And that printed quite nicely upside down on the bed. All as one print on a CR10. And then we have both these parts printed on a Creality Ender 5 Pro. And they just came out lovely. Look at them. So we'll get these sanded and painted.
Okay, so here's the parts together with the magnets installed. All I did was hot glue them into place, and then I have primed it with a putty primer that I have, and I use some, I think it was a Jensen or Julep filler primer. It's just a basic filler primer I got off Amazon. It was about 10 quid for 3 cans of it. What I'm doing now is putting a silver base coat on, just to give the top coats a little bit of shine. When I was sanding it, I used a 80 grit palm sander just to rough it up a bit. Then I hand sanded it with 120 grit, and finally another hand sand at 180 grit. Then it was just a case of priming it, sanding it, priming and sanding until I was happy with the end result. So that is a silver base coat on. This is the gold coat. It's a Rust-Oleum Brilliant Finish Gold, really, really bright gold. The silver base coat was from a UK-based company called Custom Cans. I got the red for my Iron Man suit from them actually. It's a very, very nice red. So a couple light coats of gold, and then all we need to do after that is tape off all the gold, ready to put the blue down. And here's the gold taped off helmet. All we've got to do now is put the blue on. The blue that I used is again a Rust-Oleum paint. It's from the Painters line, I believe it's called, Rust-Oleum Painters, and it's a deep blue gloss colour. What I didn't record to show you was me painting the gold and the blue for the wings, but that's pretty much the same thing. It's just a silver base coat, gold overcoat, taping it off and spraying down this blue onto it. You'll see what they look like on the final helmet, but that was pretty much it. 2 easy coats to put down. Trickiest part was, I'd say, printing the helmet. I had a bit of trouble with it. I think I had about 3 failed prints of it before I got the angle just right on it. And I think I mentioned earlier that I ended up printing it facing upwards rather than how we had it flat on the bed previously. And here is the finished helmet. As I mentioned, it's the DO 3D model. Very easy to paint, really nice colours to play with, and it's just such a nice looking helmet.
And there you have it. That is Thor's helmet from Love and Thunder. It's one of the most beautiful helmets I think that you can print at the moment. It just looks and feels great to wear. And something to complement this helmet is the cracked Mjolnir, which we will look at in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm Creator Carl, and I'll see you next time.